Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the basic knowledge we need to understand about quadratic equation. Okay, the name quadratic comes from quad, which means square because the variable gets squared. So it is also called an equation of degree 2 because the highest exponent of the variable is 2. So say for example, 5x squared plus 3x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now the variable x has 2 as the highest exponent, making it a quadratic equation. So a quadratic equation is any equation in degree 2. Say for example, 4x squared plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. 6s squared plus 18s is equal to 0. X squared minus 5x minus 14 is equal to 0. And 3x squared minus 6 is equal to 0. All these are quadratic equation because the variable x has an exponent of 2. So no, if there is no exponent 2, it means it is not a quadratic equation. But there are quadratic equations which has no exponent of 2. Let's say, for example, the quantity x plus 2 times the quantity x plus 1 is equal to 0. That is still a quadratic equation, but not written in standard form. So what is the standard form of a quadratic equation? Standard form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, wherein a, b, and c are the known values, and a cannot be 0. Because if a is 0, it becomes bx plus c is equal to 0, and that is already a linear equation. So in the equation ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, ax squared is the quadratic term, bx is the linear term, and c is a constant term. So let us now identify the different terms of the following equations, the value of a, b, and c. So for example, 4x squared plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. Our quadratic term is 4x squared. The linear term is x, and the constant term is 1. The value of a is 4, b is 1, and c is 1. For example, number 2, x squared minus 5x minus 14 is equal to 0. Our quadratic term is x squared. Our linear term is negative 5x, and our constant term is negative 14, wherein the value of a is 1, b is negative 5, and c is negative 14. Okay, our next example is x squared minus 25 is equal to 0. The quadratic term here is x squared. The linear term is 0. The constant term is negative 25, wherein the values of a, b, and c are 1, 0, and negative 25 respectively. We also have quadratic equations which are not written in standard form. So we have to transform them in standard form ax squared plus bx plus c to identify the different terms. Example, the quantity x plus 7 times the quantity x minus 7 is equal to negative 3x. So just use the FOIL method. We have x squared minus 7x. Then we have plus 7x. Then minus 49. Then transpose negative 3x. It will become plus 3x equal to 0. So you have x squared, that is 0. Then write plus 3x, and then minus 49 is equal to 0. So we now have x squared plus 3x minus 49 is equal to 0. Next, we have, just use the FOIL method. So x times x, the first, that is x squared. The outside, that is plus x. The inside, plus 2x. And then the last term is plus 2 is equal to 0. So you now have x squared plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, next, simply multiply x to the quantity 2x minus 3. You have 2x squared, then that is minus 3x. Then transpose 3, it will become minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, take note that the original equation is the same with its standard form. So say for example, x plus 7 times the quantity x minus 7 is equal to negative 3x is the same with x squared plus 3x minus 49 is equal to 0. Okay, here is our first activity. Write each quadratic equation in standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Then identify the values of a, b, and c, the quadratic term, linear term, and constant term. You can post right here and then continue later to check on your work. Okay, time is up. Let's see if you get it correctly. Okay, the first one, you only use small method. Okay, multiply the first. You have x squared. outside 1x or x, inside 2x, plus the last 2 is equal to 0. Then you have x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So your quadratic term would be x squared, your linear term is 3x, and your constant term is 2. With the values of a, b, c, a is 1, b is 3, and c is 2. Next, you simply multiply x to the other quantity. You have 2x squared, then x times negative 3x. Then transpose 3, that would be minus 3. So you now have the quadratic term is 2x squared minus, the linear term is negative 3x, and the constant term is negative 3. Actually, transposing means you have to deduct negative 3 on both sides. Okay, up next, you just transpose, meaning you have to add 8 on both sides. So that becomes 2x squared minus 8x plus 8 and equal to 0. So the quadratic term is 2x squared, the linear term is negative 8x, and the constant term is 8. A is 2, B is negative 8, and then C is positive 8. Next is the square of the quantity x minus 9 is equal to 0. There is actually a shortcut to this, but we will not discuss it today. But let us just go to the basic. X minus 9, the square of x minus 9 is same as x minus 9 times the quantity x minus 9. So use the FOIL method. You now have x squared minus the outside negative 9x, inside negative 9x, and then the last term is positive 81 is equal to 0. Therefore, you have x squared minus 18x plus 81 is equal to 0. So the quadratic term would be x squared. The linear term is negative 18x. And the constant term is positive 81. And then the value of A is 1, value of B is negative 18, and the value of C is 81. Okay, last we have 7x squared minus negative 2. Minus 2 is equal to 4x. Transpose 4x, it becomes negative 4x. Then nothing is left in the other side of the equation. So the quadratic term is 7x squared, the linear term is negative 4x, and then the constant term is negative 2. With A 7, B negative 4, and C is equal to negative 2. On my next video, we'll be discussing about solving quadratic equations in 4 different methods: extracting the square root, factoring, completing the square, and quadratic formula. So please subscribe and click the notification bell so that you will be notified once I upload another video. Thank you so much for watching and for listening.